Dear students, Assalamu alaikum. In this lecture, we will discuss law of variable proportion or returns to factor, which occupies an important place in economic theory. This law examines the production function with one factor variable, keeping the quantities of other factors fixed. That is, the output in this case is increased by changing the quantity of one input only. Thus, this law exhibits the short-run production function because, as we already know, that in short run some factors are fixed while others are variable. Students, when the quantity of one factor is varied, keeping the quantity of other factors constant, the proportion between the variable factor and the fixed factor is altered or varied, or we can say the ratio between the variable factor and the fixed factor does not remain same. Hence, the law is known as the law of variable proportions. Classical economists named this law as the law of diminishing returns. Dear students, here is the statement of the law of variable proportion. The law states that when successive units of a variable input work with a fixed input beyond a certain point, the additional product produced by each additional unit of a variable factor decreases, which means that as more and more of the variable factor is combined with the fixed factor, a stage must ultimately come when marginal product of the variable factor starts declining. Or we can say that the marginal product of each unit of factor will decline as the amount of that factor increases, holding all other factors constant. Now, the assumptions of the law of variable proportion. Students, this law is based on certain assumptions, that is, it holds good under certain conditions which are given here in this slide. Number first assumption of the law is state of technology does not change. That is, the state of technology is assumed to be given and unchanged. If there is improvement in technology, then marginal and average product may rise instead of diminishing. Number second assumption is the ratio in which factors of production are combined can be changed. That is, this law is based upon the possibility of changing the proportions in which the various factors can be combined to produce a product. Number third assumption of the law is units of the variable factor are homogeneous, or we can say the units of the variable factors are equally efficient and they are increased one by one. Thus, diminishing returns starts occurring not because later units of the variable factors are less efficient than the former ones, but because of the fixity of the factor. Students, let us now explain this law with the help of a table and diagram. Here in this table, we assume land as the fixed factor and labor as the variable factor. This table shows the different amounts of output when we apply different units of labor to 1 acre of land which is fixed. Dear students, this table shows as more and more units of labor are used, marginal product initially tends to rise till 3 units of labor are used. That is, marginal product increases from 2 units to 4 units. Total product in this phase increases at the increasing rate, and average product also increases in the first stage. This is a situation of increasing returns to factor, where total product increases at increasing rate, marginal product tends to rise, and average product also increases in this stage. Students, with the application of 4th unit of labor, situation of diminishing returns sets in, that is, marginal product of variable factor starts declining and total product increases only at the decreasing rate. This is a situation of diminishing returns to factor, and this stage continues till the application of 7th unit of labor. That is, till the application of 7th unit of labor, the marginal product of the variable factor diminishes from 4 units and ultimately it reaches to 0. Students, at the end of the second stage, marginal product may become negative with the application of 8th unit of labor, and at this final stage, total product starts declining as from 15 units of output to 40 units of output. And this final stage, or the third stage of the law, is known as the stage of negative returns. Students, now let us illustrate this law with the help of a diagram which is given here. We know that the total product increases at an increasing rate initially up to a certain point. In this figure, from the origin to point F, slope of the total product curve is increasing, that is up to the point F, the total product increases at an increasing rate. From the point F onwards, during the stage first, the total product curve goes on rising, the slope of the total product curve increases, that is the total product curve goes on rising, but its slope is declining, which means that from point F onwards, the total product increases but at a diminishing rate, which means the marginal product falls but is positive. The point F, where the total product stops increasing at an increasing rate and starts increasing at the diminishing rate, this point is known as the point of inflection. This point F, it is known as the point of inflection. At this point, the total product stops increasing at an increasing rate and it starts increasing at the decreasing rate or at the diminishing rate. Vertically corresponding to this point of inflection, marginal product is maximum, after which it starts diminishing. That's corresponding to this point F, marginal product is maximum, that is this point, and after that point the marginal product starts diminishing. The first stage ends where the average product curve reaches its highest point, that is point S on AP curve, or an amount of the variable factor. Now coming to the second stage of production. In stage second, the total product continues to increase at a diminishing rate until it reaches its maximum point H, where the second stage ends. In this stage, both the marginal product and the average product of the variable factor are diminishing but remains positive. That is, in stage second, the slope of the average product curve and the slope of the marginal product curve both are negative, which means that both the marginal and the average product of the variable factor are diminishing but are positive, that is above x-axis. At the end of second stage, that is at point M, marginal product of the variable factor is 0. That is at point M, marginal product of the variable factor is 0, and corresponding to this point, the total product of the variable factor is maximum. So the point where the total product of the variable factor is maximum, marginal product of that very factor is 0. So the second stage ends when the marginal product of the variable factor becomes 0. Now the third stage of production, which is known as the stage of negative returns. In stage third, with the increase in the variable factor, the total product starts declining and therefore the total product curve slopes downwards. That is from point H onwards. The slope of the total product curve starts declining, which means the total product of the variable factor declines. As a result, marginal product of the variable factor is negative and the marginal product curve goes below the x-axis, that is from this point onwards. So in stage third, total product starts declining and marginal product becomes negative. In this stage, the variable factor is too much relative to the fixed factor that eventually the stage of negative returns sets in. This stage is called the stage of negative returns since the marginal product of the variable factor is negative during this stage. Now, dear students, now the question is why initially there occurs increasing returns to factor and then eventually starts diminishing in the second stage. Students, initially increasing returns to factor occurs because in the initial stages fixed factors are too much relative to the quantity of the variable factors. Hence, fixed factors remains underutilized. Its fuller utilization calls for greater application of the variable factor. Hence, initially additional units of the variable factor add more and more to total output, or marginal product of the variable factor tends to increase. The second phase of the law, which is known as the law of diminishing returns, occurs when the fixed factors becomes inadequate relative to the quantity of the variable factor. Thus, fixity of the factor is the principal cause of the diminishing returns. As more and more units of the variable factor continue to be combined with the fixed factor gets overutilized, hence the diminishing returns to factor sets in. So it summarizes all the three stages of the law of variable proportion. Stage first is the stage of increasing returns to factor, where total product increases at increasing rate and marginal product is increasing. Stage second, which is called the stage of diminishing returns to factor, and in this stage total product increases at diminishing rate and marginal product is diminishing. And the stage third, which is called the stage of negative returns. In this stage total product starts declining and marginal product becomes negative. Now another important question is, in which stage a rational producer will seek to produce? A rational producer will never choose to produce in stage third, where marginal product of the variable factor is negative. He will also not choose to produce in stage first, where the marginal product of the fixed factor is negative. A producer producing in stage first means that he will not be making the best use of the fixed factor, and further he will not be utilizing fully the opportunities of increasing production by increasing quantity of the variable factor, whose average product continues to rise throughout the stage first. Thus, a rational producer will not stop in stage first but will expand further. It is thus clear that a rational producer will always seek to produce in stage second, where both the marginal product and the average product of the variable factor are diminishing but they are positive. At which particular point in this stage the producer will decide to produce depends upon the prices of factors. The stage second represents the range of rational production decisions. Thank you.